Welcome to the very first edition of DHN Sports. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. On this channel, we talk sports betting, but our focus is solely Michigan teams and props. And with week 1 of the NFL season right around the corner, I'd figured the best way to introduce this channel to the world is by covering the feistiest futures bets for the Lions, guys. I got 3 good ones for you. Starting on the offensive side of the ball, Jared Goff over under 28.5 regular season touchdown passes. That's a plus 110, and if you know, that's a double up on your money. Don't worry, on this channel I will also make educational content around sports betting. I actually have published a sports betting guide that's available on my website. We'll talk about that later. But on the defensive side of the ball, Aidan Hutchinson is the favorite to be the regular season sack leader at plus 500. So that's a 5x on that particular play. That is a bet on Aidan's redemption. I think we'll break that down first. This one, though, very interesting to me. NFC North finishing order, guys. We got parlays or plays at plus 1,000, plus 1,200, and plus 1,700. Now, the plus 1,700 actually makes a lot more sense than people realize. So I'm gonna break it all down to you. Again, if you want more betting intel, head over to digitalhustlenetwork.com/sports and get everything that you need. Now, let's get into this first prop, guys. Most regular season sacks, Aidan Hutchinson plus 500. I like this particular bet because it is a bet on Aidan's resurgence. Remember, before he got injured last year, dude was getting a sack and a half per game already. If he comes back and continues that exact same trajectory, this is an easy 5x. Now, I'm obviously not going to tell you what to put on this particular bet. I will just share picks with you that I deem to be logically sound, if that makes sense. And this is definitely one of them. He's competing with Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt. Now, we know Myles just got his money. Micah is in the last year of his deal. And the politics and the culture in Dallas, I think, is going to hinder his production. TJ Watt, that's a viable competitor still to this day. He's a legend. He's an OG. He's a dog. So, and then you have Trey Hendrickson, who was the sack leader last year. There's a lot of drama going on with him in Cincinnati. I'm even hearing he's willing to not play at all. So when you look at those factors, this plus 500 on Aidan to be the regular season sack leader looks pretty interesting, guys. Let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk quarterback here. Jared Goff over under 28.5 regular season passing touchdowns. Again, this is a plus 110. So this is a modest bet. Relatively safe bet, plus 110. You're going to double whatever you put into it. So that's a good call, especially when you consider the math behind it. Now, Vegas is pointing at a few things with this particular prop. The Lions' strength of schedule. We got the 3rd toughest schedule going into this season. And on top of that, our first 5 teams include top 10 defenses and the second ranked defense when it comes to sacks in the form of the Baltimore Ravens. We play the Ravens, Kansas City, and Green Bay in the first 5 weeks. So Vegas is anticipating it being very hard for Jared Goff to go off like Jared Goff does. In addition to that, the defenses on the rest of the schedule would also scare someone away from this bet. But I'm going to rely on the mathematics here because with sports betting, math is everything. Over the last 9 seasons, Jared Goff has averaged 24.6 passing touchdowns during the regular season in his 9 years. This includes his time with the Rams. So 24.5 average. Add 4 more on to that. I mean, come on now. We had a battered offense last year, and he still put up 37 passing touchdowns in the regular season. He's actually on an upwards arc. It was 37 last year. I had the numbers written down here. Then roughly like 30. It was 32 the year before that, and then he hit 29 his first year in Detroit. So, or 22 his first year in Detroit. So it's easy for Jared Goff to pull off these type of numbers. Now, another point that would make someone nervous is the change of offensive coordination. We now have Jimmy Morton, if I'm not mistaken, that is his name, replacing Ben Johnson. But Morton has been a part of the Lions system going on a decade now. I'm pretty sure things that Ben was implementing on the field, Morton was in that conversation as well. So I don't have any fear that our offensive production won't be the same as it was last year. I do have a bit of hesitation when I look at the schedule and I look at some of the defenses that we will have to deal with. New York Giants, Abdul Carter just stands out. I know he took that pancake block, but he's still a dog, and we're going to have to deal with him later in the season, potentially at a point where he's gained some momentum. So I would take that play. Over 28.5 regular season passing touchdowns for Jared Goff. I'm going to take that. Now, here's the bet that I think raises the most interest. NFC North finishing order. I got 3 for you. Plus 1,000 is the easiest one to roll with. We have Detroit finishing first, followed by Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago. That one pretty much points to that Ben was not as effective as we thought he would be in Chicago. J.J. McCarthy doesn't deliver. This is technically his rookie season, so that is to be expected. And Green Bay pretty much stays Green Bay. We'll be competing with Green Bay for eternity, it seems. Now, this plus 1,200 one, a little bit different here. They have Detroit, Green Bay, top 2. Then Chicago actually finishes third, and Minnesota is at the bottom. This is implying that JJ completely flops. Ben Johnson's improvement is marginal, bumping them up just one more spot than they were the previous year. So it's slightly more realistic because you don't want to overhype the situation. Yeah, Bears have looked good in the preseason, but it's preseason. Let's not get too excited about that. Now, this third one here, though, very interesting to me at plus 1,700. And I must let you know, guys, futures bets across all sports books, they close September 4th. So if you want to get in on this action, that's how long you have. Plus 1,700, though. Detroit finishes first. Chicago finishes second. Green Bay falls to third, and Minnesota stays at the bottom. So I like that particular setup because let's just say JJ does struggle, right? This is his first year, all right? I'm not the type of fan that is overly excited about things, although I have watched JJ McCarthy play football his entire career. And I was very excited when he got drafted, very excited to see him play last year until he got injured. I still have that same level of excitement, but I also understand the game. JJ played in systems that were already top tier. We're going to see what he looks like in a system that may not be complete. Now, I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm not deep in the Vikings lore. So if there's an aspect to that I'm overlooking, please let me know down in the comments. But when you're putting in a quarterback for the very first time, the percentages are very low that quarterback is going to be Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson. It's very rare that you get that. So with that, Minnesota falling to the bottom, and this doesn't mean that they'll have a losing season or a terrible season. They'll just be fourth place in the NFC North. That would make a lot of sense. Then we look at Chicago finishing second. This implies that Ben Johnson just simply continued where he left off in Detroit last year. Took a lot of his same tricks, his tools, and his mechanics and just put them behind Caleb Williams. Detroit still stays at the top. And if Ben Johnson is successful in bringing over what he perfected in Detroit to Chicago, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Chicago flip Green Bay once we get to the end of the season. Again, this wouldn't mean that Green Bay is completely out of the water, like they're having a losing season. Jordan Love is completely falling off. No. What I'm seeing is an increased level of competition throughout the entire NFC North. And by the time the chips fall, Chicago has surprised a lot of people. So at plus 1,700, guys, you're looking at a pretty strong return on that finishing order for the NFC North. And like I said, based on how Chicago looked in the preseason, I would not be surprised at all if they somehow managed to flip Green Bay. J.J. McCarthy, the story isn't, will he be good? This question is, will he be good this year? Because just like our schedule is tough, the Vikings, their schedule is just as tough. That's a lot of pressure to be placing on a guy who is technically your rookie quarterback. So, and then on the defensive side, guys, Aidan, I'm just going to go ride with Aidan. He's a lock on this one. And if he doesn't manage to do it, well, hey, it's all in good fun, right? And for Jared, over under 28.5 regular season touchdown passes, I'd say the math is on his side. And we just got to let Jared cook from here. So, with that, that's all I got for this one, guys. Again, if you want more intel, head over to digitalhustlenetwork.net/sports. Pick up our Michigan-centered sports betting guide, so that way you can get a part of the action as well. With that, I'm Wade Teamer. I'll see you in the next one.